Whenever I launch something important, my first thought is on how it's going to fall apart. Because if there's anything that I believe in, it's that machines are more reliable than people. But if there's anything else that I believe in, it's that machines are still totally unreliable. That's why somebody invented high availability. And today we're going to be looking at how to launch a highly available version of Rancher. So first, what is this HA nonsense? HA means different things to different people. Notice that they didn't call it total availability or absolutely guaranteed availability. No. High availability means that with no manual intervention and no significant interruption to downstream services, the thing that you've made highly available will still work. Eventually. For something simple like a website, you can get HA by having a load balancer in front of more than one web server. But all this does is move the problem. What happens if your load balancer goes down? All right, so now you need two of them. Services like DNS understand when their target is unreachable and they just ask the next DNS server in the list. HTTP is not like that. People will totally bug out if the website takes a few seconds longer to load than it should. Trust me. If you're dealing with physical infrastructure, you're in a world with acronyms like CARP, VRRP, NSRP, and slick concepts like split brain and stoneth. That's why software like Kubernetes was created, because honestly, who has the time to deal with that stuff anymore? If you launch a Kubernetes cluster with 3 data plane nodes and 2 control plane nodes, you'll have a highly available Kubernetes cluster. Rancher is built into Kubernetes, so by using the HA features already present in the cluster, Rancher itself is automatically HA. The core of an HA installation of Rancher is the Rancher Kubernetes engine, which we lovingly refer to as RKE. RKE is a CNCF-certified Kubernetes distribution that runs entirely within Docker containers. This makes it super portable. Vanilla installations of Kubernetes require a bunch of prerequisites on the host. You have to install this, you have to install networking, you have to install the kubelet, before you can even get to standing up a cluster. RKE only needs a supported version of Docker. That's it. It makes it super easy to provision hosts, either for a standalone RKE installation like we need for Rancher, or for a Rancher deployed RKE cluster. You'll want to actually use RKE config to do a walkthrough of the configuration. At the end of RKE config, you will be left with a cluster.yaml file that is much more detailed and gives you a lot more options. In this case, you can see that I have public and private IPs for each of my nodes. And additionally, if you get to where you want to actually change what versions you're running for certain Kubernetes services, you can get that granular further down here in the config. After you have your cluster.yaml file, run RKE up to build out the cluster. Now, this obviously is going to take a few minutes, so we will speed it up. It's important that your load balancer is simply a layer 4 load balancer. Don't deploy a layer 7 load balancer because it will break the WebSocket communication between Rancher and remote clients and clusters. Just punch through TCP/80 and TCP/443. All right, we have a Kubernetes cluster. It gives us a kubeconfig cluster.yaml file. So if we set our kubeconfig to that, then we can run a kubectl get nodes and see that we are up and running. Rancher installs via Helm, and Helm requires that we run a service inside of the cluster called Tiller. We're following the recommended best practice of dedicating this cluster to Rancher, so we're going to go ahead and just create an admin level service account for Tiller. If you have concerns about doing this in your own cluster, you can find more information on how to restrict Tiller's access in the Helm documentation. Rancher has 3 chart repositories: latest, stable, and alpha. Unless you are intentionally testing new features that aren't yet ready for production, don't run alpha. I don't even recommend that you run latest. It has the latest features, but it's more likely to have issues that can disrupt a production environment. Run stable. Rancher can run with self-signed certs, with certs that you bring, or with certs generated from Let's Encrypt. Personally, I use Let's Encrypt, so first we have to install Cert Manager into the cluster. At the time of this recording, the Rancher documentation says to install Cert Manager 0.5.2. That's the last version that did not require a prerequisite of installing CRDs into the cluster. Cert Manager is currently on version 0.8, so I recommend that you follow the instructions to install the CRDs and then install the chart directly from Jetstack. The Rancher documentation also recommends that you install Cert Manager into the kube-system namespace. We will install it into the Cert Manager namespace. If you do install it into a namespace that already exists, you will need to add the annotation to disable validation. Otherwise, it won't install secrets and it won't run correctly. So now, with all that stuff done, we are ready to do the most significant piece, which is actually the easiest. Installing Rancher is one command, takes a few seconds to type and about a minute to complete, and when it's done, you will have a highly available Rancher installation running inside of a Kubernetes cluster. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe for more content. If there's anything in particular that you would like to see about Kubernetes, Rancher, Docker, or technology in general, let me know in the comments and I'll try to make a video for you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.